Hello viewers and welcome to Rajput Jain and Associate. Today we would be discussing about meaning of Nidhi company, what benefits we can avail by forming a Nidhi company, what are the compliances required pre and post incorporation, what are the business activities that have been restricted to be undertaken by Nidhi company, what all documents are required for its incorporation, and finally the process of registration of a Nidhi company. To begin with the meaning of Nidhi company. Nidhi company is basically a company being incorporated with the object of inculcating the habit of saving among its members, its function by accepting deposits and providing loans to its members. And all these activities are undertaken for mutual benefit of all the members. Now, having discussed about the meaning of Nidhi company, we now come on to the benefits which one can derive by forming a Nidhi company. So some of these benefits are as follows. First of all, there is ease in formation as no major approvals are required and the filing process is quite simple. Second is there is cost efficient registration since the registration fees and the other compliances fees are quite less. Then there are no RBI regulations which the Nidhi company is required to adhere to. There is a lesser level of risk since all the loans to members are secured against collateral. Then there is encouragement of saving among the members, and there is availability of easy loans to members at low cost. And lastly and most importantly, there is limited liability of all the members of the Nidhi company. Next, we will discuss about the compliances which the Nidhi company is expected to follow. These requirements are provided in terms of pre and post incorporation. So looking into the pre-incorporation requirements, we have the following points to be considered. First, the company is required to be a public company. Secondly, the minimum paid up capital of such company shall be Rs 5 lakhs. Also, the said company shall not issue preference shares and shall have the last word as Nidhi Limited as a part of its name. Apart from this, minimum 3 directors shall be mandatorily required to be the member of the Nidhi company, and the Nidhi company shall have minimum 7 shareholders. Now, having discussed about the pre-incorporation compliances, we now come on to the post-incorporation compliances. So within 1 year from the incorporation, the Nidhi company is required to fulfill the following compliances, namely, the said company shall have a minimum of 200 members, the net owned fund of the company shall be at least Rs 10 lakhs. So herein the net owned fund means the aggregate of the paid up equity share capital and free reserves as reduced by the accumulated losses and intangible assets that are appearing as per the last audited balance sheet. Next, the ratio of the net owned funds to the deposit shall not exceed 1:20 and the unencumbered term deposits should be at least 10% of their total outstanding deposits. Now in the next part, we have the different business activities wherein Nidhi company cannot operate. So a Nidhi company cannot do business of chit fund, hire purchase finance, leasing finance, insurance or acquisition of securities by any body corporate. They cannot issue preference shares or debt instruments. They cannot open any current account with their members. They can acquire any company by way of purchase of securities or controlling the composition of directors unless the approval has been obtained from the regional director. The said company cannot carry on any business other than the business of borrowing and lending in its own name. Nor they can accept deposits from and lend to anyone else apart from its members. Also, they cannot pledge any of their assets that are lodged by its members as securities. Nidhi company cannot take deposits from or lend money to any body corporate. They cannot enter into any partnership arrangement in its borrowing or lending activities. Then, they cannot pay any brokerage or incentive for mobilizing deposits from the members or for granting loan. And they cannot charge rate of interest exceeding 7.5%, and lastly, they cannot declare dividend exceeding 25%. Next comes the documents required for registration of a Nidhi company. So for this, there are requirements of director identification number, PAN number of the shareholders as well as the directors of the said proposed Nidhi company, the residential proof of the shareholders and the directors, photographs of the applicants, identification documents such as the Aadhaar card, the rent agreement or the lease agreement of the registered office, And if the office is owned, then the ownership information or the registered office address must be provided. Apart from that, in case of leased premises, the NOC of the landlord shall be obtained. Apart from that, the documents required involves the Memorandum of Association, Article of Association, and the MCA form for the establishment of Nidhi company. Now, in the last part of our video, we will be discussing about the procedure for registration of Nidhi company. So, registering a Nidhi company is a simple 6 steps process. At first, the applicant shall ensure that they have a valid digital signature certificate for all the directors. In case the applicant does not have one, the same shall be obtained first. Once the applicant is in receipt of the DSC, he is required to apply for the director identification number for the proposed directors of the company not having any DIN issued earlier. In the next step, the applicant shall visit the MCA portal and on the SPICE platform fill in the run application for reserving the name of their said company. After reserving the name, the applicant is required to file the application on MCA portal. Application along with the prescribed documents must be filed with ROC in INC Form 32 and the applicant shall intimate the main objectives of forming the entity. After furnishing the documents, the ROC will scrutinize the documents and in case no error is found, they will issue an incorporation certificate within 15 days of filing of the documents by the applicant. Now, after obtaining incorporation certificate, the applicant is required to apply for PAN and TAN in the name of the said Nidhi company. At last, the company will be required to open a bank account on behalf of the business for undertaking all the business transaction. So this is how a Nidhi company is incorporated. In order to avoid any mistake, it is always advisable to take help of experts. So for any help, do contact Rajput Jain and Associates, or you can also visit our website www.carajput.com. Thank you.